The more you seek to merge completely into a relationship, the more you risk losing the very self that makes you whole. Radha reveals, true devotion never dissolves your sacred identity, but rather refines it. Perhaps you find yourself in a relationship that, on the surface, seems to offer solace and companionship. Yet beneath it, a subtle unease persists. A tightening in your chest, a quiet whisper of self-doubt. You might be constantly adjusting, bending, and reshaping your very essence to fit an unspoken mold, hoping to secure connection, yet feeling increasingly adrift from your authentic self. This deep yearning for belonging can often lead us down a path where the line between genuine connection and suffocating attachment becomes blurred. The initial spark, that intoxicating chemistry, can, over time, transform into a subtle cage, built not of bars, but of unspoken expectations, fear of loss, and the silent erosion of your personal sovereignty. This is a journey many introspective women undertake, grappling with the profound question, is my love a sanctuary, a place of growth and peace, or is it in truth a cage, limiting my spirit and dimming my inner light? This is not a question of blame, but of profound introspection, an invitation to understand the subtle mechanics of your own mind and heart. You may recognize the exhaustion of trying to be the perfect partner, interesting, calm, independent, only to feel like an option, not a chosen priority. The intense fear that your depth, your emotional intensity, might be too much for him. This constant striving often conceals a deeper longing to transcend the repetitive patterns of hope and disappointment, to break free from the invisible chains of emotional dependency, and to anchor yourself in an unshakable sense of self-worth that originates from within, not from external validation. This path demands a clear distinction between what your mind, accustomed to external validation, desires, and what your true self, your Atman, truly needs for its evolution. It's about recognizing the deep-seated panic of abandonment that might lead you to accept less than you inwardly know you deserve. In the wisdom of Raja Yoga, we understand the mind as a powerful instrument, yet one that, if left undisciplined, can become a source of endless agitation. The vriddhis, or fluctuations of the mind, can ensnare us in cycles of craving and aversion, manifesting acutely in the realm of romantic relationships. Here, the archetype of Radha offers profound guidance. Her devotion to Krishna was absolute, yet it never diminished her unique identity, her unwavering spirit. Her love was an expansion, not a contraction. She embodies the path of conscious devotion, where the EU, self, remains sovereign even amidst profound connection, transforming longing into a potent force for inner awakening. This is the essence of true sovereignty, not a detachment from love, but a cultivation of love that flows from an unshakable inner core. Many women, deep in their hearts, yearn for a complete union, a merging with their partner that transcends individuality. This desire, while seemingly noble and born of pure affection, can often become the very trap that leads to the erosion of one's sovereign self. This is the subtle seduction of the us that gradually, almost imperceptibly, begins to erase the you. You might find yourself unconsciously adopting his interests, adjusting your opinions, or suppressing your true feelings to maintain harmony, to avoid conflict, or most profoundly, to ensure his presence. This isn't love. It's a form of identification with the not self, a surrender of your true essence in exchange for perceived security. As the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali teach, the cessation of the mind's fluctuations, vriddhis, is the path to inner peace. Yet in relationships, these vriddhis often escalate, fueled by our mental projections, the idealized version of him, the imagined future, the desire for a specific outcome. We project our desires, our unfulfilled needs, and even our childhood wounds onto our partner, believing that their presence, their actions, or their love will finally complete us. This phenomenon is deeply rooted in how the mind, if not disciplined by the will, seeks external validation and completion. Your mind might be addicted to the idea of him, to the fantasy it has meticulously constructed, rather than to the man himself. This isn't merely being in love, it's being caught in a repetitive pattern where your emotional well-being is outsourced to another. This leads to the painful realization that you've fallen in love with a potential, a projection, rather than the reality of who he is. The silence, the emotional unavailability, the inconsistency, these are not just his traits. They are profound mirrors reflecting where your power, your attention, and your will have been misdirected. The core issue isn't about him not valuing you, but about your own you, self, not being fully centered, allowing external circumstances to define your worth. The battle isn't with him, it's within. A struggle between the sovereign self that knows its intrinsic value and the needy mind that desperately seeks external validation. This continuous outsourcing of your peace and identity results in a profound internal emptiness, a feeling of being invisible or misunderstood, even when you're physically close. It's the unsettling truth that your chemistry might actually be a karmic loop, a familiar dance of codependency, rather than a conscious connection forged from two whole selves. This illusion of safety in merging is a cage, offering temporary comfort at the cost of your true freedom. The Bhagavad Gita illuminates this precisely. Our dharma, our soul's purpose, is often obscured when we become overly attached to the fruits of our actions, the outcomes of our relationships. Instead of acting from a place of inner conviction and alignment with our highest truth, we act with the sole purpose of securing a specific result from the other person. This is not genuine devotion, but a form of subtle manipulation driven by underlying fear. The alchemical question to ask yourself is, what part of your Atman, your unchanging divine self, does this persistent unease or the pain of losing yourself in us truly reveal? What is it trying to teach you about your own inherent completeness and the source of your deepest joy, which lies not in merger, but in the conscious expansion of your sovereign self? The path to transforming relationship pain into a powerful catalyst for growth lies in cultivating what we call sovereign devotion. This isn't a contradiction. It's the profound wisdom of Raja Yoga and the example of Radha. Radha's devotion to Krishna was unparalleled, a total surrender, yet it never diminished her radiant individuality or her deep sense of self. Her love was an expression of her completeness, not a desperate attempt to fill a void. She understood that true devotion springs from an inner wellspring of power and clarity, not from neediness or the erasure of one's identity. This powerful truth stands in stark contrast to the modern narrative of love that often encourages an unhealthy fusion, leading to the gradual suffocation of the individual spirit. To embody this sovereign devotion, we must first learn to master the restless mind, the instrument that often creates the cage in the first place. The Yoga Sutras emphasize the importance of calming the vrittis, the constant fluctuations of the mind. In the context of relationships, these fluctuations manifest as anxiety about his texts, obsessive analysis of his silence, or the relentless replay of past interactions. These are not reflections of your true you, self, but rather habits of a mind accustomed to external validation. Here is a practical technique, a micro-exercise from Raja Yoga to begin this journey of inner mastery. The observation of the breath and thought. 1. Find your center. Sit in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes gently. Bring your attention to your breath, observing its natural rhythm without trying to change it. Feel the subtle rise and fall of your abdomen, the cool air entering your nostrils, and the warm air leaving. This simple act anchors your awareness in the present moment, shifting focus from external anxieties to your internal experience. 2. Observe the emotional current. As you breathe, notice any strong emotions that arise, particularly those related to your relationship, anxiety, longing, frustration, or fear of abandonment. Instead of getting caught in the story or trying to suppress them, Simply observe them. Imagine these emotions as clouds passing in the sky of your consciousness. They are temporary, changing, and separate from the vast, unchanging sky that is your true you. 3. Differentiate the you from the not you. As you observe an emotion, mentally ask yourself, is this feeling truly my you, my core self? Or is it a projection of my mind, a conditioned response, a not you element? Feel the subtle distinction, the anxiety, the longing, the fear. These are experiences of the mind and body, not the essence of your eternal, sovereign self. The you is the silent, observing awareness behind these experiences. It is the witness. 4. Engage the will. Once you've made this distinction, gently but firmly engage your will. Vontade. Ramacharaka, the great Raja Yogi, emphasizes the will as the master, guiding the mind and emotions. Without judgment, direct your awareness back to your breath, reaffirming your commitment to observe rather than identify. When the mind tries to pull you back into the narrative of attachment, acknowledge it, thank it for the thought, and then, with the gentle power of your will, return your attention to your breath, reinforcing your position as the sovereign observer. This isn't about suppressing the emotion, but about consciously choosing not to be dominated by it. This consistent practice of observation and discernment, even for just a few minutes each day, empowers your you to reclaim its rightful place as the master of your internal landscape. Like Radha, whose unwavering devotion stemmed from a deeply centered and sovereign self, you learn to love and connect without dissolving your own sacred identity. You begin to understand that true power lies not in controlling external outcomes, but in mastering your internal state, cultivating an unshakable inner peace that is not dependent on another's actions or presence. This is the foundation of a love that is a sanctuary, never a cage. Have you ever looked back at your relationships and felt an unsettling sense of déjà vu, as if you're playing out the same script with different actors? This is often the subtle yet powerful indication of a karmic loop, a pattern of repetition that arises from unlearned lessons or unresolved energies from this life or even past lives. The mind, in its search for comfort and familiarity, often unconsciously gravitates towards these familiar patterns, even if they lead to pain and frustration. This isn't a sign that you are broken or that there is something inherently wrong with you. Instead, it is your karma, your accumulated actions and reactions, presenting itself as a powerful opportunity for growth and liberation. The concept of karma, from the Vedic tradition, is not a punishment, but a precise and compassionate mechanism for evolution. It's the universe's way of ensuring that certain lessons are presented until they are truly integrated. In relationships, these karmic loops often manifest as recurring themes. The emotionally unavailable partner, the constant need for validation, the fear of commitment, or the cycle of intense passion followed by abrupt abandonment. These are not random events. They are meticulously orchestrated by your own deeper self to bring conscious awareness to unexamined beliefs, unspoken fears, and unconscious desires. Your struggle to break free from these cycles is a spiritual battle, a testament to your soul's yearning for true freedom and sovereignty. To break a karmic loop requires more than just changing partners. It demands a radical shift in your internal landscape. This is where the principles of Dharma and the will, Vontade from Raja Yoga, become paramount. Your Dharma is your soul's inherent purpose, your true nature. When you live out of alignment with your Dharma, especially in relationships, you often attract experiences that force you back onto your true path. For many women, their Dharma in relationships might be to cultivate unwavering self-sovereignty, to learn to love from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of need. The repetition isn't the problem. The unconscious identification with it is. The you, self, is not bound by karma. Only the not you, the mind, the body, the ego, is. To break this cycle, you must first recognize the pattern, then understand its energetic root within you, and finally, Consciously choose a different path using the power of your will. This often involves transforming the pain of rejection or disappointment into a catalyst for deeper self-inquiry. Instead of asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" shift to, "What is this pattern revealing about my own inner landscape, my fears, my unconscious agreements?" Use the power of Raja Yoga to observe these patterns in your mind without judgment. See them as a story, a program running in the background, rather than the absolute truth of who you are. Your will becomes the master key, allowing you to choose to disengage from the mental and emotional addiction to these repetitive cycles. By consciously choosing to respond differently, by prioritizing your inner peace and sovereign self over the fleeting promise of external validation, you begin to transmute karma into dharma. This is an act of profound self-love and spiritual maturity. It is recognizing that the true purpose of these challenging relationships is not to make you suffer, but to illuminate the path back to your inherent completeness and power. We began by asking a profound question: is your love a sanctuary or a cage? The paradox is this: the more you chase the illusion of complete merging with another, believing it will bring you safety, the more you risk creating a cage for your own spirit, gradually diminishing the sovereign you that is your true essence. The peace you seek, the deep connection you yearn for, cannot be found by losing yourself in another. It can only truly flourish when it emanates from an unshakable inner core of self-sovereignty, cultivated through the diligent practice of Raja Yoga and an understanding of Vedic wisdom. The patterns you might have identified in your relationships, the repetitive cycles, the subtle erosion of your identity, the fear of abandonment, are not failures, but profound teachers. They are invitations from your higher self to awaken, to observe the mind's attachment, vriddhis, and to reclaim your will. Your anxiety about his silence, your confusion between overwhelming passion and conscious love, your frustration at repeating the same mistakes, these are not weaknesses. They are signals, opportunities to turn your gaze inward, to the quiet power of your you. The journey from emotional dependency to true sovereignty is not about becoming cold or uncaring. It is about learning to love from a place of wholeness rather than from a void. It's about embodying the wisdom of Radha, whose devotion was boundless precisely because her self was not annihilated, but refined by her spiritual connection. The true chemistry is not merely a fleeting spark of attraction, but the profound resonance that occurs when two sovereign selves meet, each complete within themselves, choosing to walk a path of conscious evolution together. This is the essence of a love that is a sanctuary, a space where both individuals expand, supported by mutual respect and a shared commitment to higher consciousness. It requires a radical shift in perspective, moving away from seeking external validation and instead cultivating an internal source of peace and self-worth. It means understanding that your deepest desire to be chosen and prioritized can only be truly fulfilled when you choose and prioritize your own sovereign you first. I invite you now to engage in a continuous practice of self-observation. Watch your thoughts. Observe your emotions. Notice when your mind tries to identify your worth with the status of a relationship or the actions of another. Gently but firmly, redirect your awareness back to your breath, back to the silent, observing you. This consistent act of non-identification, guided by your conscious will, is the very foundation of breaking free from the cage and building a sanctuary of true love, both within and without. Consider the timeless Vedic metaphor of the sun and its rays. The sun, brilliant and self-luminous, constantly radiates light and warmth without diminishing itself. Its rays reach out, illuminating everything they touch, but they remain intrinsically connected to the sun, never losing their source. So too is your true you, your sovereign self. It is a complete self-luminous sun, radiating love and consciousness. When you enter a relationship, your love should extend like rays of the sun, illuminating and enriching, but never dissolving the sun itself, never diminishing your core. When your love becomes a cage, it is often because you have mistakenly identified your sun with his, believing his light is the source of your own, or that you must extinguish your own radiance to reflect his. This journey is deeply intertwined with your dharma, your unique purpose in this existence. Many relationships are not merely romantic encounters, but profound karmic lessons designed to guide you back to your dharma. The painful repetitions, the patterns of abandonment or miscommunication, serve as cosmic signposts, urging you to turn inward and address the root cause within your own consciousness. They are not meant to break you, but to awaken you to the immense power of your own will, as taught in Raja Yoga, the power to choose liberation over familiar suffering. Your you is inherently whole, and it is through the cultivation of this inner knowing, this unwavering self-sovereignty, that you become capable of experiencing a love that truly feels like a sanctuary. Radha, in her timeless devotion, understood this profound truth. Her surrender to Krishna was not an act of self-annihilation, but the ultimate expression of a soul so deeply rooted in its own divine essence that it could love without attachment, without fear of loss. Her love was a boundless offering, yet her identity remained intact, radiant and unique. She did not lose herself. She found a deeper dimension of herself through conscious devotion. Her journey reminds us that true love, true bhakti, is not about becoming one with another to the point of erasure, but about two distinct sovereign souls consciously choosing to expand their consciousness together, each honoring the sacred space of the other, and most importantly, the sacred space within themselves. The ultimate liberation lies in recognizing that your you is your ultimate sanctuary, always accessible, always complete. If this exploration of love as a sanctuary or a cage resonated with the silent truths within your own heart, know that you are not alone on this profound journey. This path of self-sovereignty and conscious relationships, rooted in the timeless wisdom of Raja Yoga and Vedic philosophy, is a journey best walked with introspection and community. Share your experience in the comments below. What shift in perspective did this video ignite within you? If this video truly made you reflect on your own sovereign you, consider liking it, sharing this new reflection with others, and become a part of our community. Join those who seek genuine depth, who are committed to cultivating inner peace and unwavering self-sovereignty, making their own you the ultimate sanctuary.